Hello speakers, welcome back to our class. Today we're going to review the 5 parts of the speech introduction. This is important to know because we are going to use the 5-part speech introduction for both this upcoming informative speech and also for our next persuasive speech. So let's begin. The first thing you want to do when you begin your presentation is to get the attention and interest of your audience. You can choose any attention getter that you like, and our book has several different examples. You could find a startling statistic. You could tell us a story, either a personal story or a story that you read about or heard about from someone else or from the media. You could also ask some rhetorical questions to make your audience think about the topic. Or you could find a quote of somebody that we would be familiar with that has said something impactful about your topic. You might also arouse the curiosity of your audience. Play a guessing game. Get us to try and guess your topic based on some prompts that you give us. Or you could share something funny. You could also involve some audience participation in some way. But you want to choose one attention getter, an attention getter to catch our attention before we even find out who you are and what your topic will be. So part 1, get the attention of your audience. Step 2, you want to introduce yourself and your topic. Who are you? What are you speaking about? Step 3, you want to tell us, why are you credible to speak on this topic? You can either share with us your direct experience on this topic, or you can talk about your research. Have you read some articles on this topic, or have you watched some videos? What has helped you to gain information about this topic? And we also did this for our demonstration speech, so this should be familiar to you. The 4th step is to relate your topic to the audience. Why should we care about this topic? And you can be creative here. One of the examples we used in class was a speech topic of the alligator. Well, why should we care about alligators? This is an unusual animal. Many of us don't have contact with an alligator in our day-to-day lives. But you may not be aware of this. However, a long time ago, New York City had alligators in the sewer. Yes, people were buying alligators as pets, and when the alligator grew too big or was too difficult to take care of, they released it into the sewer, and according to some old newspaper articles from the New York Times, we had alligators living in our sewers. So we should know more about alligators, just in case we happen to be exposed to one. As kind of a stretch, but for whatever your topic is, help us understand why we should care about it. And the 5th step for the introduction is to preview your subpoints. For example, if I was going to speak about the pyramids of Egypt, in my preview, I'm going to tell you what am I specifically addressing. Today, I will be telling you about who built the pyramids, what kind of materials they used, and what the pyramids look like today. And those would be my 3 main points summed up in one statement. So those are the 5 parts of the speech introduction. Get the attention of your audience. You want to introduce yourself and your topic. Share why you are a credible speaker on this topic. Relate the topic to your audience, and then preview your subtopics for us. And the most important thing is that we do the attention getter first and the preview at the end. But the other 3 parts, you can mix up the order of that. That's fine. And that's our speech introduction. For our speech conclusion, we have 3 parts. So this is a little shorter and a little simpler. The speech conclusion begins with a signal phrase. You have to signal the end for your audience. Give us some kind of verbal clue that your speech is going to end. For example, in conclusion, I'd like to end by, to wrap things up, to draw everything to a close. All of those are examples of a signal phrase that you could use to let the audience know your speech will be ending soon. Step 2, you want to summarize for us, what have we learned about? And we did this in the demonstration speech. For example, today we learned about where the pyramids are located, who built them, and what the pyramids look like today. Remind us of what you taught us, and that's step 2, the summary. Step 3, you want to find some strong statement to end on. Something that reminds us of the impact of what we have learned. If I'm sticking with my pyramid topic, I could say, The pyramids were part of ancient civilization, and the next time you are thinking about history, the history of mankind, you now know a little bit more about our roots. Or if you are doing an informative speech where you have explained to us about the alligator, and the next time you are taking a shower or bath and looking down the drain, you now know more about an animal that you could potentially encounter in the sewers. Some kind of statement should be used at the end, some strong statement to reinforce this new education we have on your informative speech topic. So to review, the 3 parts of the conclusion are a signal phrase, a summary, and some kind of strong statement that reminds us of the impact of what we have learned. Now, the introduction, as you can see, is quite a bit longer. And for a 5-minute informative speech, it tends to be about a minute to a minute and a half. A conclusion is much shorter. It tends to be about 30 seconds. It can be less. And this is because at the end of your presentation, as you're drawing to a close, you don't want to go on and on and on. The audience has heard that signal phrase and they expect to be ending soon. So once we have given them that signal, we want to get to the point and finish our presentation. And that's the overall structure, the opening and the closing for your speech. I look forward to seeing how you use these as you develop your own informative speeches.
Talk to me, talk to me, talk